Hey guys, Simon here, and thanks for listening to this intro bio. This video is for Red Dead Redemption 2 and contains 10 game mechanics for playing to make your experience a lot easier. If you enjoy the video, hogtie someone, stow them on the back of a horse, and ride them off a cliff. Here we go. Okay, here is a quickie. That's what she said. Your map is extremely important in the game. You need it to check for just about everything because it's the map. Seriously though, it's freaking huge. Most of you have probably been hitting the pause button and from the menu selecting the map. It's annoying as prison rape, right? You can cut one step out right now by just holding the pause button instead of hitting it. This will bring the map up immediately instead of having to go into the menu and selecting it. Just a tidbit to keep things moving along a little faster. This isn't anything that will help you with the gameplay, but it will make you look badass. You can purchase and check out whatever outfits you buy when you're out at a store or when you're back at camp in Arthur's tent, where the real magic happens. Anyway, in Arthur's tent you can modify certain pieces of clothing like the shirts and pants. Look for the square button to modify clothes when looking at what item you want to change. On shirts you can leave the top button down, and with your pants you can choose to tuck them in your boots or wear them on the outside for, you know, when you're stomping mud holes in people's asses. Did you know you can switch the viewpoint of which shoulder you are looking over while aiming? Once you bring up whatever gun you are using, I'm going to use the rifle, simply hit left on the D-pad and the camera will switch to the opposite shoulder. This will now be your viewpoint when aiming. To switch it back, simply hit the D-pad again and it will flip back. Useful information for when you are running and gunning in an enclosed environment and need to switch your viewpoint around without exposing yourself or doing something equally dangerous and stupid. This information is for those people that aim better using the first person mode with the iron sights. Enter into first person by pressing the pad on the PS4 controller. I'm not sure what button it is on the Xbox, but you may have to hit it, whatever it is, more than once to get there. Once you are there, draw your weapon, aim, and press down on the D-pad. This will allow you to aim using the iron sights on the weapon. You can switch between your other guns as well, and aiming with their iron sights will work the same way. If you hit the D-pad again, this will lower the weapon out of lining up with the iron sights. A nice thing about this method is that as long as you don't hit that D-pad a second time, your gun will stay at the ready with the iron sights when you aim. You can switch to your other guns and aiming will still keep the iron sights up on your rifle and or shotgun or sniper rifle. The nice thing about using the iron sights method is that it doesn't reset itself if you say mount your horse or start a new mission. Just as long as you're in first person mode, it will work that way. If you are someone who likes the hunting aspect of the game or someone who has trouble with that part of the game, this is a great piece of advice for you. You smell like shit, take a shower. No. 3-star pelts are the best you can get from wildlife and are used for upgrading in camp, making new outfits, or just selling for straight up cash. You can tell if an animal has a 3-star pelt by looking and focusing on it with the left trigger. If you know the animal, the description will appear in the bottom right corner, or the left, I forget, telling you what the animal is and its pelt star level. If you don't know the animal, get close enough to it and simply hold the right bumper to study it for a few seconds until you know that animal. Here is the useful bit. Animals that are medium to large size or have 4 legs can usually be lassoed and killed without causing any damage to the pelt. Lasso them up from horseback and slowly make your way to them once you jump off. Once you get close enough, hit the corresponding button, should be circle for PlayStation, and perform the kill and take your pelt. This is a simpler and less time-consuming manner of collecting the pelts you need. If you want to do it the hard way, that's what she said, you can study the animal and it should tell you in the description box the correct way to go about killing it to get the 3-star pelt. It's usually a pain in the ass. Knowledge is power. This one is pretty simple but cool. You are able to fire warning shots with Arthur for whatever reason you may need. Maybe you were sent to collect a debt from some jabroni and he is being difficult, so you need to threaten him a little bit. Maybe some crazy ass pie is running at you in the dark of night in some shithole swamp because you stopped to check out a body hanging in a tree because it looked cool and they think you're some trick ass mark. Pull out whatever gun you want and press up on the D-pad. This will make Arthur raise his weapon upward, pull the trigger so he can fire a warning shot. Hitting the D-pad a second time will return your gun to murder mode. Just an FYI with this though, it is not guaranteed that everybody will be scared by your warning shots and you might have to kill a few people. This is an extremely useful piece of information. I'm sure most, if not all of you, have found yourself in a spot that you can't escape without killing yourself or reloading to a previous save because you don't want to lose something. Maybe you were riding your horse and fell off at a bad spot, or you were walking around looking for a treasure map spot and got stuck somewhere you couldn't climb out of. When this happens, your best bet is to build a fire and camp. This will do a couple things. One, it will remove you from the spot you were stuck at without harming yourself or losing anything. It should spawn you somewhere more open with access points for riding away. The other thing this does is offer you a chance to craft items or cook some of the game meat you have on you from hunting and such. It will also become one of your most recent saves. This is just a useful tip for anyone who is looking to playing this game long term, which is all of us. Changing your controls to allow a toggle instead of holding or repeatedly mashing your buttons to run. Instead of breaking your expensive PlayStation controller, go into the menu to Settings, Controls, and go down to the third person menu and change the option to FPS Standard. This will switch your X button from run to the left analog stick, and the X button will now be your crouch. Next, scroll down to accessibility and switch the running mode option to toggle to run. This makes it so that now toggling the left analog stick makes you run. Overall, it makes the controls simpler for those people that play more first-person shooter type games while also saving the buttons on your controller. I don't know if all of you have ever played a button masher before, but over time, this will slowly wear down your button and or buttons and possibly cause it to be less responsive and or just break altogether. This was something I stumbled across because it was pissing me off that my horse wasn't coming fast enough. That's what she said. By now you should know you can press up on the D-pad with nothing equipped to call your horse to you. Your bonding level with the horse determines the distance at which it will respond to your whistle, but that's not what I wanted to tell you. What I want to tell you is that there are two different types of whistles for your horse. A long whistle, which you can make by holding up on the D-pad, and a short whistle, which you can make by just pressing up on the D-pad. To get your horse to come to you so you can just jump on and off of him and ride him whenever, use the short whistle. You can even issue a couple extra ones just to get him to come to you faster, but note that the better your bond is, the faster and more quickly your horse will respond to your short whistle calls. The second whistle, the long one, will signal to your horse that you wish for him to follow behind you. Why would you want him to follow you? Perhaps you are gathering stuff and stowing it away, or perhaps you're planning something and you need to make a quick getaway. Or perhaps you just don't want to step in all of the shit that is constantly coming out of his ass. I'm sure all of us have jumped off the horse and ran into something stupid at some point, only to realize we only have our pistol on us. The gun wheel customization needs a bit of a buff because there is no way to always ensure you have what weapons you want on you unless you always remember to grab them off your horse before you go, like me, because I'm fucking awesome. Oh, I'm sorry, because I'm bleep awesome. There is, however, one way to keep it pretty damn near close to this though. If you go into any gun store and speak with the owner, you are able to select customization. This will open a window with the weapons you own on your horse. You are able to select a handgun and a second offhand weapon as well once you have unlocked that holster. FYI, you can also use the sawed-off shotgun in a holster. You are also able to select a melee weapon such as the knife or tomahawk or whatever else pops up later on. The next two spots are for your shoulder and back. These spots are reserved for your rifles and larger shotguns. Pick whichever suits your fancy. I go double barrel to my back and a rifle over my shoulder. Now, once you do this and walk out, these weapons will be saved to your body, meaning you don't have to select your weapon every time you get off your horse and run off to go do something. However, if you want a different weapon later on during a mission, you will have to return to your horse to get it. You can also change up the layout by revisiting a gun store. Hey guys, that is all I have for you on this video. I hope it helps you out in some way, shape, or form. If so and you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. I got some other content planned for this game that's going to be pretty funny, I think, and a couple more video ideas like this, and some new feature ideas as well. Thanks again for watching. See you out there, partner. You're no daisy.
Let's go, girl.